The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. OpenAI has defeated Elon Musk's lawsuit in a unanimous jury verdict, clearing a major legal obstacle to a possible I.P.O. Google and Blackstone are launching a US-based AI cloud venture built around data center capacity and access to Google's custom T.P.U.s. Standard Chartered says it will cut about 7,800 back-office roles by 2030 as it expands automation, analytics, and AI. The US-Iran standoff is raising costs for AI chip companies through energy, freight, and materials pressure. Pope Leo XIV is preparing his first major text, an encyclical on protecting human dignity in the age of AI. Let's start with OpenAI, because this is a legal win with a much bigger governance shadow behind it. A federal jury in Oakland, California, ruled unanimously against Elon Musk after 11 days of testimony and less than 2 hours of deliberation. The key finding was timing. Jurors concluded Musk filed too late, after the 3-year statute of limitations. So OpenAI was not held liable on his claim that it abandoned its original nonprofit mission to develop AI for humanity's benefit. That matters because the verdict removes a major obstacle to a potential OpenAI I.P.O, which analysts say could value the company at up to $1 trillion. But it does not make the deeper trust question disappear. Musk invested $38 million in the nonprofit founded in 2015, left the board in 2018, and accused Sam Altman and Greg Brockman of turning OpenAI's 2019 for-profit shift into a vehicle for themselves and major investors. OpenAI argued Musk had long known about its growth plans and waited until August 2024 to sue. Microsoft, which was named in an aiding and abetting claim, welcomed the dismissal and says it has invested more than $100 billion in the partnership. Musk says he will appeal. So the practical takeaway is narrow but important. OpenAI won this round on timeliness, while the larger debate over AI mission, money, and accountability stays very much alive. Now to the infrastructure race underneath AI. Google and Blackstone are forming a new US-based AI cloud company that will sell data center capacity and access to Google's custom tensor processing units through a compute-as-a-service model. In plain English, that means customers get another way to rent specialized AI compute instead of waiting for capacity inside the usual cloud pipeline. Blackstone is committing an initial $5 billion in equity, with a target of 500 megawatts of capacity coming online in 2027. With leverage included, total investment could potentially reach $25 billion, and the venture will be led by longtime Google executive Benjamin Sloss. Here's why this is interesting. Big tech AI infrastructure spending is projected to exceed $700 billion in 2026, and even Google does not want to carry every dollar of that build-out alone. For Google, the venture can broaden access to T.P.U. capacity while sharing the capital burden. For Blackstone, it is a long-duration bet on data centers, power, and transmission tied to AI demand. The question I would watch is not just how much compute they can build, but how they secure the energy needed to run it. In the AI era, power supply is becoming part of the product. In banking, the AI productivity story is turning into a very concrete labor story. Standard Chartered, the UK-headquartered bank focused on Asia and Africa, says it will cut more than 15% of its back-office roles by 2030. That is approximately 7,800 positions. The company is linking the move to practical uses of automation, advanced analytics, and AI, alongside a broader strategy from CEO Bill Winters to streamline processes, improve decision-making, enhance client service, and increase profitability. The bank has not specified which locations will be hit, even though it has major back-office operations in India, China, Malaysia, and Poland. Some affected workers may be moved into other roles, but the scale of that redeployment is the real test. This is not happening in isolation. Singapore's DBS has said it expects to cut about 4,000 contract and temporary roles over 3 years, and large tech employers including Meta, Amazon, and Oracle have also announced major reductions while investing heavily in AI. So is AI the entire reason for these cuts? The better reading is that AI is becoming one tool inside a wider efficiency and profitability push. But for workers, especially in back-office operations, technology roles, and entry-level paths for recent graduates, the distinction may not feel very comforting. The AI chip story is also getting a reminder that semiconductors are not just designed in software, they move through a fragile physical supply chain. The ongoing US-Iran standoff and wider Middle East conflict are pushing up oil prices, freight costs, and the cost of key materials used by chip manufacturers. Helium is one pressure point. Qatar was the world's second largest supplier in 2025, providing more than 30% of the market, and Iranian strikes have hampered its export capacity. There are also disruptions around bromine and aluminum, and European chip buyers were already facing higher prices in March after war-related air freight disruptions forced them to draw down backup inventories. Companies are trying to absorb the shock. TSMC CFO Wendell Huang has pointed to supplier diversification and stronger local supply chains, while VAT Group reported a first-quarter sales hit of 20 to 25 million Swiss francs from rerouting shipments and still kept its full-year outlook. What makes this tension so important is the contrast with the market mood. The Nasdaq PHLX Semiconductor Sector Index is up 41% over the past 3 months, powered by AI confidence. The question is whether inventory buffers and pricing power can keep insulating the sector, or whether sustained energy, gas, and freight costs start showing up in margins and AI data center economics later in the year. And finally, the Vatican is putting AI into one of its highest profile moral and social formats. Pope Leo XIV, the Chicago-born pope, will release his first major text on May 25th, an encyclical called Magnifica Humanitas, or Magnificent Humanity. He signed it on May 15th, and its focus is the protection of the human person in the age of artificial intelligence. The launch is notable because the Pope will present it publicly with lay experts, including Christopher Olah, co-founder of Anthropic, along with theologians Anna Rowlands and Leocadie Luchambeau. Cardinals Victor Manuel Fernandez and Michael Cherney will also participate. The themes are directly tied to the AI debates already hitting governments and companies: workers' rights, the use of AI in warfare, stringent regulation, keeping the human person central, and a ban on lethal autonomous weapons. The historical echo is deliberate. Pope Leo XIII's Rerum Novarum addressed workers' rights during the Industrial Revolution in 1891. Pope Leo XIV is now framing AI as the next social challenge requiring a human-centered response. What I find important here is the tone being described: cautious optimism, not doomerism. The Vatican is not just saying no to dangerous uses, it is trying to enter the practical conversation about what responsible AI should look like. Today's through line is that AI is no longer a single technology story. It is shaping corporate governance, cloud finance, bank jobs, chip supply chains, and even global debates over human dignity. The useful question is where AI creates real capacity and where it simply exposes harder choices about money, power, labor, and responsibility. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.